Hello there everyone, it's Elspex, and I'm back again with Lesson 4 in the Peak Training Grounds. Today we're going to be discussing hero equipment and what it is and how to level it up and what your equipment is to use best. So hero equipment was only released back in December of last year. If you're a new gen player that started playing like a little bit before that or around that, you probably never got to know the old system. Well, the old system with heroes was that there was one ability, and every 5 levels it would upgrade to another level. And we just kind of took those as the king ability, queen ability, etc. But when it was released, these abilities were split into 2 mostly, and new abilities were released to change the play style that you could use with heroes. Anyways, the Blacksmith was released in December, and it's unlocked at Town Hall 8, so if you're part of Peak Mini, you're going to be using the Blacksmith. It's upgradable with ores, and by that I mean the hero equipment within it. It is a huge, huge pain to level up these ores. It is a lot of grinding. But the ways to get it by clan wars. So you can get ores by a bunch of different ways, and I'll be discussing that later. So first we have the Barbarian King. You can see on the right we have common equipment and then epic equipment in purple. So the epic equipment are only found in events at the moment, but you can also get them in the shop after the event has passed for I think 1500 gems. So there's the Barbarian Puppet, Rage Vial, Earthquake Boots, Vamp Stash, Giant Gauntlet, and Spiky Ball. So the Barb Puppet spawns a small group of Raged Barbarians. They're pretty not that great. It's regarded as one of the worst hero equipments. It is one of the original hero equipment. So it's the original king ability was the Barb Puppet and the Rage Vial combined, so they switched it into 2 separate hero equipment, so you can switch stuff up. The Barb Puppets are the Barbs are equal to your level of Barbarians you have. So if you don't upgrade your Barbarians in your lab, then they're going to be the same level as your lab Barbarians. It also gives you a little bit of extra health when you activate the ability. The Rage Vial gives the Barb King a pseudo-rage ability. It's kind of like Rage, but it's not as good. It is still quite good. It increases damage and speed, and it's quite a powerful equipment, and it's one of the most popular equipments today. The Earthquake Boots make little mini earthquakes. I haven't used this equipment much. It does also give a small DPS increase. I haven't heard much good things about it. It's a little bit underpowered, and it's more recommended to use other abilities later in the Barbarian King track. Then we got the Vamp Stash. So this is like vampirism. It's like Siphon. You steal health whenever you damage something. It's really good, and it also causes a small attack speed increase when you activate the ability. So the Vamp Stash abilities all the time, so it happens even when you're not activating the ability, but when you activate your ability for your other ability, you also get an attack speed increase. Moving on to the epic equipment, there's the Giant Gauntlet that makes the king really big, and it makes AoE damage and has an extended range. This is one of the more powerful epic equipments, and that is one of the most popular. It was the first epic equipment to be released, so it's extraordinarily popular because everyone wanted to have it. You also get resistance to other defenses, DPS increase, and self-healing. And there's the Spiky Ball. I haven't unlocked this one myself. I've seen people use it, but it's very similar to the Seeking Shield if you're familiar with the Royal Champion. We won't be going over the Royal Champion, unfortunately, just because Peak Mini only goes for Town Hall 12, and you unlock the Royal Champion in Town Hall 13, so we're not going to be going over that. You also get a DPS increase and some HP. So the ball ricochets across multiple buildings when you activate the ability, and deals a bunch of damage. Once again, I haven't used it as much. So an optimal choice for the Barb King, in my opinion, always going to use the Rage Vial. The Rage Vial is extraordinarily powerful, and that attack speed increase is really, really good to get out of issues with like Infernos and stuff. You can just run out. The Giant Gauntlet is what I use. It's amazing, and as I said with the Rage Vial, it's extraordinarily powerful. However, you don't have the epic equipment. The Vamp Stash is also a force to be reckoned with. It is still really, really good. So moving on to the Archer Queen. The Archer Queen only has 5 hero equipment. 4 commons and one epic, which is the Archer Puppets, which is like the Barb Puppets, the Invis Vial, Giant Arrow, Healer Puppets, and the Frozen Arrow. So the Archer Puppets, same with the Barb Puppets, use the same level as your own archers, as it also grants additional health to Archer Queen. It's once again not very high powered. It's not that great. Same with the Invis Vial. That the Arch Puppet and the Invis Vial combined was the original ability for the Queen before the Blacksmith update. So arch puppets aren't that great. Don't use them unless you really have to, and don't upgrade them too much. Invis Vial. Similar to the Rogue Cloak, as I said, pre-hero equipment, turns the queen invisible and increases damage temporarily. It is, once again, a very reliable and very, very good hero equipment. Then there's the Giant Arrow, which launches a massive arrow across the map in the direction the queen is facing. It's pretty good and it deals a lot of damage, and it's pretty comparable to the Seeking Shield or the Spiky Ball, because it just ricochet. It doesn't ricochet, but it goes all the way across the base. So you can actually snipe buildings, but it takes a lot of practice to get those correct. And if you miss it, well, you just wasted your hero ability, because you don't get anything else other than just that giant arrow. There's the Healer Puppet. I'm not really sure people use this. I mean, it's pretty good, but if you're going to be using Queen Walk, you're going to have healers anyways. If your healers die often, I recommend you can use the Healer Puppet. It summons healers to attach to your queen. It's pretty good. Yeah. And there's the Frozen Arrow. This one is the only equipment for the queen, and it's really, really good. The Frozen Arrow has a constant ability where you can shoot, whenever you shoot a building with your arrow, it slows them down really like a lot. So I'm not sure the exact number. I think it's a 72% increase damage decrease at max level, but the more you level up the Frozen Arrow, the slower these buildings get, and the less damage you take from them too. It's very, very, very good. So with the queen, same thing with the king. I recommend using the only epic equipment. But if you don't have that, I recommend using the Invis Vial and the Giant Arrow if you understand how to use that tech. If you don't want to try and use the Giant Arrow, you just want something reliable, use the Healer Puppet or the Arch Puppet. You want to get that extra damage in. Yeah, there's not really that many choices to go with, but always use the Invis Vial, and Frozen Arrow, you have it, recommended highly. Moving on to the Grand Warden. Grand Warden has 5 abilities: Eternal Tome, Life Gem, Rage Gem, Healing Tome, and Fireball. So same thing with the Arch Queen, only 1 epic equipment. And the Eternal Tome is the original Warden ability. It literally makes your troops immune to all damage for I think around 10 seconds. This ability is amazing, and I highly recommend it. If you're using the Warden and you're not using Eternal Tome, you're doing something wrong. It's really, really good. The Life Gem makes small to medium troops gain extra XP when it's in the Warden's radius. And the damage is reduced when you have it equipped on the Warden. This is terrible. Do not use the Life Gem. It is terrible. The Rage Gem gives all your troops a partial rage when you're in the Warden's aura, and that's really powerful. And so I personally use Eternal Tome and Rage Gem, so you can activate the ability midway through, but you can still have a good push with the Warden as your protector. Now, if you're going to be going with more of a Warden Walk type strategy, you might want to use the Fireball. We'll get to that though. The Healing Tome grants XP gain rather than immunity, so it heals back. It's a pretty okay. I recommend using it if you're going to be doing Lava Loon, Dragon Spam or something, because you have a lot of small troops that need to get that extra HP buff. And it's pretty good, but once again, I recommend using Eternal Tome instead. Do not use 2 tomes at once. That's just a big no-no. Don't do that. And there's the Fireball. It targets the nearest defense, and it makes a big old ball of flames that deals AoE damage. So the Fireball, people think it's good, and it is pretty good if you're doing a Warden Walk, but the issue is with the Fireball is that whenever you use it, if it isn't pretty high level, you're not going to be able to destroy anything. And even mine, which is at level 12, which is relatively high, I still can't even take out key defenses. So if you have the ores to pump into the Fireball, go for it. It's still good, but it's just not as good, and it makes the Warden less of a support troop and more of an attack troop. I recommend using the one of the books. I prefer the Eternal Tome, but if you want to use the Healing Tome, you can do that too, and the Rage Gem for most attacks. However, most stuff is fine. Just don't use the Life Gem. The Life Gem is terrible. It will never be good unless it gets a buff, so don't use that. Moving on to ores in general. Ores is a new currency you can use to upgrade your hero equipment. Ooh, typo, sorry about that. This can be obtained during events, clan wars, and in the shop. So in the raid shop, you can actually give raid medals to get ores. In clan wars, whenever you do a successful attack, you get ores at the end of the clan war. And also in events, like right now we have the Super Wall Breaker event, you can get ores in that track. Specifically the purple ore, I think glowy ore it's called, is extremely scarce and really, really hard to get a lot of. So you're gonna run you're gonna run out of a lot of that really quickly. Upgrading with ores, use common ores every level, glowy ore every 3rd level, and then the starry ores only used for epic equipment over level 9. So starry ore is much rarer. You only get them in like portions of 5 to 10 when you need like 60 of them. But if you're gonna be using epic equipment, it is a really good thing to have. So these ores are such a big pain. So you see them in the shop for relatively cheap when it comes to like events and stuff. I recommend picking them up just because it's going to make your hero equipment so much better. The difference between like a level 5 Invisvial and a level 11 Invisvial is huge. So it's not just important to upgrade your hero levels, now you have to upgrade your hero equipment levels too. And you got the pets to look forward to in HANA 14 also. But I guess that basically covers it. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. I'm sorry this video took a while to come out. School's been kicking my ass right now. I'm almost done though, which is great. Anyways, I will see you all in the next one.